Good journey, everyone. Welcome to Space Oats, a Star Wars podcast. I am the Crucial Crew member Jay, joining you this evening, and we're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars as we do every week. So, a little bit. Well, I'm always not prepared, right? I'm always unscripted with this. But yeah, I didn't really have a ton of time to to even think about what I was going to talk about tonight. I did know I was going to talk about something that happened in Star Wars history, and I researched that a little bit. I started anyway. I didn't get finished it yet. It's actually up on my screen right now, at least to conclude that and try to watch the rest of it tonight. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We're also going to talk a little bit about the High Republic because the High Republic is going big right now, and I'm starting to get into the High Republic, but I'm not into the current phase of the High Republic. But yeah, I'm interested to see these stories unfold, and I started in that process. So we'll talk a little bit about that today, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on this past week as well. So welcome to today in welcome to Space Oats, a Star Wars podcast. Um, let's see what's happened this past week. Well, we have had a lot's going on. We had Life Day on Friday. Life Day on Friday. A lot of people celebrated Life Day in their own way. Um, I know that Batu East or West had quite a few people show up and celebrate. I saw some group shots and so forth from Batu West in Disneyland, California, which was pretty cool. Batu East, not quite as big of a Life Day celebration showing as I would have liked. I know I've seen some better celebrations as far as those celebrating Life Day before in Batu East, and it was not as good as I would have hoped anyway. But I spent the entire day in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios on Friday. I actually got there earlier than I thought, and I stayed later than I thought. But it was a good day. It was a good day here on Batu East. Met some new people, hung out with some new people, and bought some merch, not for me, but for others. So that's always fun when you can lend a helping hand to some of your Star Wars friends. So I did get there early for that because I helped procure the Legacy lightsaber from the High Republic, that of Stellan Gios's lightsaber. And yeah, I had that purchased and shipped out pretty quickly. There wasn't actually a long line for that, which was pretty surprising. I guess, again, the High Republic mainly being in printed form right now, with the exception of the Young Jedi Adventures series, which I'm sure not the collectors of lightsabers, and as such is going to be watching Young Jedi Adventures, even though I do. But and Stellan Gios not being involved in the Young Jedi Adventures either. So, but his lightsaber pretty cool looking. I actually got to hold it and look at it from someone else that purchased it, which it was a really good looking saber. I did not purchase it for myself, but like I said, I did purchase it for someone else and had that shipped out. So, but other than that, in the morning also, I procured my tickets to Mosh Eisley, which is going to be happening here in Orlando on February the 3rd. Saturday, February the 3rd at Son of a Beach. And that is going on at the same time as MegaCon here in Orlando. So if you got your tickets to Mosh Eisley, congratulations. I picked up a ticket as well as the merch pack. So looking forward to that. It got me thinking about some, what I was going to want to wear to Mosh Eisley. And I am going to be creating a kind of like a punk rock look, like a jacket. Ordered the base for that, the jacket, just this week, and yeah, started looking for some, patches and so forth to kind of throw on there. It's going to be Star Wars in universe for the most part bands. So you got your ones that all of us know, Max Rebo figuring Deanne and the Modal nodes. And then, the Star Cruiser ones, Gaia, Sandro, hoping to throw some of the some tidbits of them on there as well, and honor them, and as well as maybe some bands that are very obscure in the Star Wars universe that we don't really hear too much about, or maybe you see in the background and so forth. So yeah, so I'm going to be working on that for the next couple months as Mosh Eisley comes up, and I'll be wearing that at Mosh Eisley. So I'll have that. I also, well, we're going to get into discounts a little bit later because we got a lot of Black Friday discounts going on. So we're going to go through those because I did take advantage of some of those already. And yeah, so it was a good week. After, let's see, the afternoon, I did leave Hollywood Studios for a little bit on Friday, and then I came back. I did a bunch of bounty hunter missions, rode the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, just hung out, ate some food at Docking Bay 7. While I was doing Batu Bounty Hunters, I met a individual that's new to Florida, but a awesome Star Wars fan and cosplayer. And yeah, we hung out for a little bit. We ended up going to Oga's together. I went to Oga's twice on Friday. And yeah, so it was a good time. Good time at, ran into some Star Cruiser people there, and ran into some crew members, and just had an all in all great time. Didn't get any merch for Life Day. I was thinking about getting the Chewbacca action figure, but it went off the shelves by the time I left. It was there pretty much all day, and they were there at the end of the night. I just didn't get to the store quick enough. The last few had kind of ran off the shelf when I got there, so I don't know if they restocked the shelves at all, but if they do, maybe I'll pick one up later. But I still wasn't like dead set on that one, so we'll see. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about today in Star Wars history. Why don't we? So today in Star Wars history takes us back to 1983. So this is after the final of the original trilogy came out, because it's still technically the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. We're still celebrating that, right? And one of the things that pretty much with each movie, there was usually a behind the scenes documentary of some sort that got released. And today, November 21st, 1983, was the release of one of those documentaries. And I'm going to share my screen because I actually posted this earlier today on my Instagram page. But if you didn't see it, I want to go ahead and let you all see this and be able to experience this amazing advertisement for classic creatures of Return of the Jedi, which aired today, November 21st, 1983, on CBS. So on CBS, as you can see there, the classic creatures of Return of the Jedi. Now, it says classic creatures of Return of the Jedi, but it did feature other classic creatures as well. But it was mainly focused on creature development for Return of the Jedi. So it was, it was a look behind the scenes of various alien creatures from the third Star Wars film, that being Return of the Jedi, which was released in 1983. And it had Carrie Fisher and Billy D. Williams as the hosts, as you can see from that advertisement. It was directed by Robert Guenette, who had directed the previous two documentaries. So like I said, there was a documentary per each film that was released. And eventually they got kind of released as a kind of a box set. And then also you can find them on the DVD, the Blu-ray DVD box set, which is actually how I'm watching them today. The other two programs, the one from Star Wars was The Making of Star Wars, which came out later in 1977. And then the documentary for The Empire Strikes Back was SPFX, The Empire Strikes Back. So, yeah. So it actually came out on Laserdisc in Japan, and has a really wonderful cover, which is was my cover of today's broadcast. If you didn't see that, at least partially, was in there, and yeah, written by Robert Gunnett as well as directed by Robert Gunnett. Also co-written by Greg O'Neill. John Williams actually composed the music because most of the music was from his compositions, and yeah, executive producers Sidney Ganis, Howard Kazajian. Producer also was Robert Gunnett. The editor was Peter Wood. It was about 48 minutes long. I think was the runtime, 48 minutes. And yeah, it was. It's a really interesting documentary. I know I've watched it before because it, like I said, it does come in the box set of the Blu-ray edition of the complete saga, the first 6 films, that Blu-ray DVD set. And I remember watching it when it first was released. I don't think I've watched it since then. Maybe, I don't know. But has many different interviews, some of which are by George Lucas, who talks about some of the creatures in Return of the Jedi, like the Ewoks, Cy Snoodles, or Miss Snooty, as Carrie Fisher refers to her, and Jabba the Hutt, which, was amazing to be able to see how that took place, because there was many different people that was required to operate it. 6 people operating Jabba the Hutt, which was an amazing feat. Something before doing that type of creature as CGI, they had to have so many people operating it. They went on location. You got to see the location shooting for some of the creatures, which of course was the forests of Northern California in the redwood forests, the Buttercup Valley in Yuma Desert, Arizona, where Jabba's sail barge was shot, and then other various scenes on the sound stages of Elstree Studios, which was near London, where most of the interior of Jabba's palace was filmed. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, again, I always go back and forth with Return of the Jedi being my favorite film, or Empire Strikes Back. But really, Return of the Jedi has a really special place in my heart, as I've said many times, because it is the first Star Wars movie that I saw on the big screen. And I think one of the things that really captivated me about Return of the Jedi, and still does to this day, because I love creatures, I love droids, and there's just so many creatures that were in the film, and this was a time before CGI, and you can just overlay creatures. They had to make all these creatures in the Creature Workshop, and you had 60, which doesn't seem like much, but 60 alien creatures created for Return of the Jedi. And they had many different techniques of operating these characters, which was, some of it being puppetry, some of it being people inside the creatures, this like suits, some of it being animatronics. So many different ways and techniques for them to be able to do this. A lot of these methods that were used were explained in this documentary, which was really interesting to be able to watch if you were not familiar with any of this. And they go outside of the Star Wars universe, and they talk about how like some of the bases for these methods were used before. So it dives into the creature from the Black Lagoon, Godzilla, stop motion miniatures. So the creature from the Black Lagoon and Godzilla, how basically people were in those suits. Stop motion techniques, which was seen before in The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms and King Kong, and then large scale mechanicals, as seen in the feature Them, and then also puppeteering, which obviously was done with Yoda and the Rancor, but also some of those contained animatronic devices that could be controlled remotely, like in the facial structures and so forth. So I'm at the point in the documentary where actually it shows footage of ET, and it talks about some of those more recent creatures um, from that film, as well as at the time, as well as the Dark Crystal. And there is a actual brief interview with Jim Henson, which is really awesome when it talks about the Dark Crystal, which is cool to see Jim Henson being connected with this documentary. Um, Also, footage from Dragon Slayer, which pioneered the use of go motion techniques in a miniature creature, where basically the camera and the miniature creature are simultaneously computer controlled. So at that time, that was something that was like brand new. So it talks a little bit about that as well. Much of that documentary ended up being in the TV special From Star Wars to Jedi, The Making of a Saga, which ended up coming out later that year as well. So kind of like a culmination of a lot of the footage from all of those other making of documentaries put into one, which if you've seen that one as well, that's you've probably seen most of the Classic Creatures documentary. It did get a release for home video several times in the 1980s, as well as I said before, the Laserdisc in Japan, which is the cover of my stream tonight on this page. And it had a basically with that Laserdisc was either just by itself, or it became also was released as a triple feature with the other two documentaries from the other films. And then, as I said before, I am currently watching it today from the DVD Star Wars Blu-ray box set, which was released in September 2011, and it's on disc 3 of the bonus discs, because there was 3 bonus discs. The bonus disc number 3 has the documentaries as well as some spoof reels and so forth. So, but yeah, that is today in Star Wars. If you've never watched Classic Creatures: Return of the Jedi, I highly recommend going back and watching that. It is definitely a good inside look at how history of movie making has happened over the years. So it's really cool to go back and see technology in its advanced stages back during this time when, computer technology just wasn't really at where it is now today. And we had a lot of those tangible creatures and all the work that was done to put into that. So one of my favorite creatures just came on, Max Rebo. I love Max Rebo. Let me go ahead and go back to my big screen here. I'm actually going to change my camera real quick. Get a more. There we go. So, I don't like that job. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Get a little bit down here. That way you can see me a little bit more. Ooh, my allergies working up today a little bit. But yeah, that is today in Star Wars. The Classic Creatures: Return of the Jedi being released today in 1983. So a lot of news came out this week, by the way. So much High Republic news. Because Phase 3 kicked off last week, and if you're a High Republic fan, you're probably dive into Phase 3. I am very behind. I've never really gotten into the High Republic until recently, because I was loving the Young Jedi Adventures, and it's now started to tie in a lot to the books. Some of the characters are starting to show up in the High Republic. So I'm starting to get interested in going back and reading the High Republic. So I did start that. I went back and I started I'm reading it in chronological order. So technically I'm reading books, I think, from that were officially under Phase 2. And so far I'm loving it. I'm loving the book so far. But there's a lot of characters that are getting released that we're coming to realize that are going to be in play as like new faces of the High Republic. Some villains, some heroes, and if you're keeping up with that, you're seeing some amazing creatures that are going to be. Mike's joining in. He posted a link, reply to your post about the Making Return of the Jedi special that aired on this day. YouTube link that the whole special. Okay, great. So if you don't have it on DVD like I do, you can check out that YouTube link. So like I said, it's really great. I'm watching it right now. So thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. I'll probably try to find that and maybe post it into this description of this video if you're watching this a little bit later, so you can have that as well. But if you don't have it on your own, but I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much. Yeah, the High Republic heavily into Phase 3 right now. Well, not heavily, but it's just started. So, but I'm going back. I'm reading some of the High Republic. I'm interested in it. I was spent a lot of time with a big Star Wars fan today that I just met, a friend of a friend, and we were in the parks today, and we were talking a lot about Star Wars. And he's getting into the High Republic too, kind of late, like me, because I think it took like I think we both had the same feelings of, you knew that there was going to be some big bad, that the Jedi were going to be confronting in some way or another, and but you just really didn't know how that was going to play out. And I'm interested in I kind of know the gist of it, but I'm interested in actually reading these stories now and learning a little bit more depth of this. But a lot of amazing characters. I was looking on StarWars.com today, and some of the new faces that are coming out in Phase 3. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some of these up here because the characters are just so cool looking. And I'm really interested in diving into these characters and learning a little bit more about them eventually, because I know I'm a long way off. But yeah, this character looks really cool. So I'm actually going to pull it up because I can't remember the names of these, and I can't really see it from my computer when I'm pulling this up. But this is apparently Baron Bulin, which, is a Ithorian character. But I love the ragginess of his character, like the look, the torn like clothing and everything. It really looks really cool. So apparently this character had a little bit of backstory in earlier works, but now they're gonna see a little bit more of him as an adult now in Phase 3, because like a younger version of him was earlier in some of the earlier phases. So I guess I'm gonna be reading about him and I think this is why I kind of like coming to these things a little bit late, because I know some of the characters that are going to be used later, and if they did pop up maybe briefly earlier in the stories, I can pay a little bit more attention to these characters, because I am definitely not one to go back and reread books. It's hard for me to get through books as it is. I'm not a big reader. I'm a slow reader. So I'm not going to be one that's going to go back and reread things. So I think seeing things like this now and it kind of going into my mind, and then when I go and read about these characters later, I'll be able to pay a little bit more attention to these characters and learn a little bit more about their backstory and kind of hold on to them. But yeah, so I can't wait to find out about this character, because this character looks really cool. Interested in this character, Baron Bulin. Can't wait to see that one. I'm going to go ahead and pull up another character. This one's an interesting. I love when we have some original looking characters, and even though this character's humanoid in nature, I love the style of this character. I can see myself wanting to cosplay something like this at some point, but I don't know if I'm ever going to like shave my head. So I doubt that would happen. But this is Niv Drendow. So really cool. That we don't really know too much about this character, but this is an all new character for Phase 3. And yeah, I love the way this character looks as well. So don't know much about him though. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip. I'm gonna go to this other character here. This other new villain, which I like the kind of the Game of Thrones vibe to this one. The High Republic, I think the one thing that's really cool about the High Republic, it does have these like this like Knights of the Round Table, Game of Thrones look, King Arthur era to it, which you see especially. I mean, this character looks like a knight, which is really awesome. So this is General Vius, which apparently he's shown up before. So in one of the earlier phases, so we'll be able to see this character and her, and a little bit more about her, and learn how amazing this character is and how ruthless this character is. So can't wait to read about this character and kind of see her pop up a little bit before I get to Phase 3. So, and learn a little bit more about this character being a main character at that point in time. So again, I like kind of waiting off on this a little bit. But yeah, those are 3 main characters that were released just recently that we're going to be seeing a lot more of in the High Republic. So I don't know if you guys are all excited about the High Republic. If you have a special character that you like in the High Republic, let me know, so that when I'm starting off and I can read about these characters, I can maybe pay a little bit more attention to the characters that you like, and maybe get excited along with you in a little bit more of a way. So one of the things I was getting away from the High Republic, something else that I did this weekend, is going back to Life Day, is watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, which, of course, as you know, you can find that on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find that as well. So you got to watch it every once in a while, honestly. I mean, I watch it every year. I watch the Holiday Special every year. And if you don't really want to sit there and watch it in the traditional way, look for somebody that does like the watch parties. Dano Channel did a watch party last week, and you can pull his watch party up and watch it along with that. And you can listen to his commentary as well as the comments that pop up along with that, which make it a little bit more fun, because then you can kind of laugh along with some of the comments that were made. And it kind of ends up being like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, which I wish there was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode for the Star Wars Holiday Special. I think that would be amazing to have released. And then we can maybe somehow get it back on the big screen or something like that. It would be really cool if they did like a Fathom Events thing with Mystery Science Theater 3000. You can go to the theater, you can watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, and you can sit there and laugh with Star Wars fans. I think that would be great. I think that would be something that Disney really needs to think about doing. So I don't even need to take credit for it. I'm sure somebody's thought of it. Lastly, but certainly not least, we are getting into a lot of discounts for the holiday season. It is Thanksgiving week. Black Friday is this week, and a lot of discounts are already coming out. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the StarWars.com page, which gives us all of the discounts that you can get that have been announced so far. And some of them are starting right now, and I've already taken advantage of some of these. So I'll tell you which ones I've taken advantage of already. But lots and lots of discounts to be had. So my cat's outside the door, and she is meowing. Hopefully you can't hear her, but anyway. So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and scroll through these amazing discounts that we have. So we have, starting with Amazon, 40% off Star Wars holiday gifts, and that has already started November 17th, and that goes through the for about a week till the 27th. So if you shop Amazon a lot, head on over there and you can get some Star Wars gifts for 40% off. Box lunch, 50% off select Star Wars merchandise, like buy one, get one half off. I can't remember what box lunch does, honestly. Citizen watches, if you're a Star Wars watch fan, you get an extra 50% off from November 21st to 26th. So that's a narrow window that comes up at the end of this week. Cufflinks, 20% off site wide from November 20th to 25th. Diff Eyewear, that's one of my favorites. I just purchased 3 more pair of Diff sunglasses. I own 3 already. Not all Star Wars. They have Marvel stuff. They have Harry Potter stuff. They have regular sunglasses. They also have prescription glasses. If you have a prescription lens, you can send them all that information and they can make frames around your prescription. So pretty cool. But Diff Eyewear, 50% off all Star Wars styles from November 19th to December 26th. So like I said, I got my 50% off discount and got myself another pair of Star Wars sunglasses. They're well worth it. I love their glasses. I wear them all the time. And like I said, I'm on my 4th, 5th, and 6th pair coming up. So Displate, enjoy 40%, 41% off November 17th only. So that's already passed. So if you missed that, oh well. I don't know what Displate actually makes. I can't remember who they are. Entertainment Earth, a buy one, get one half off on all in-stock Star Wars action figures from November 15th through the 21st. So that ends actually today. Plus 75% off Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series, Leia Organa Force FX lightsaber from November 22nd to 25th. So that starts tomorrow. So if you like the Black Series lightsabers and you have not purchased the Leia Organa Force FX lightsaber, 75% off on Entertainment Earth starting tomorrow. Funko, if you're a Funko collector, which I am not, but I have some, you can get 50% off Star Wars Funko Pop collectibles, advent calendars, ornaments, and apparel at Funko.com and Loungefly.com from November 23rd to the 26th. So that starts later this week. FYE, I didn't even know they still exist. Buy one, get one 50% off on select Star Wars action figures and Funko Pop collectibles. I guess that's kind of ongoing right now. Girls Crew, 40% off site-wide from November 12th to 27th. GOG.com, 65% off Star Wars games from November 21st to 28th. Her Universe, we know who that is. 70% off Star Wars styles from November 20th to 27th. Hotel Collection, 40% off Star Wars collection of fragrances through November 30th. I did not even know we had Star Wars fragrances out there. I'm going to have to look into that. Inside Editions, 40% off site-wide from November 22nd to 29th. I can't remember who Inside Editions is. Jazzwares. Jazzwares is the micro series. Great people. I met them in Star Wars Celebration London, I think. And they gave me a couple things for free. It was pretty cool. They were good guys. 20% off Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Starfighter class Luke Skywalker X-Wing, and up to 50% off Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Asajj Ventress Genevex Starfighter mystery bundles only on Amazon.com. So just a couple of items there. Joy Jolt, can't remember who that is. Buy one, get one 50% off from November 13th to 28th. Milk Snob, can't remember what they do either, but 40% off site-wide from November 17th to 29th with the offer code 40. Petunia Pickle Bottom, I do not know who they are either, but 15% off the Child Collectors bundles from November 22nd through the 30th. Roosevelt's, our friends that make amazing apparel. I have 2 of their shirts, and I'm looking to get some more with the sale that is ongoing right now. Up to 60% off select apparel and free wrapping paper with every order while supplies last, available through November 27th. The only thing about them is I didn't really notice anything Star Wars that was on sale, or Marvel. Not much Marvel. Nothing that I was really bouncing to get that was 60% off anyway. They had some discounts on some items that I was thinking about, so may still get a shirt before this sale ends. Rock Love Jewelry, 30% off all in-stock Star Wars items, November 27th only. So set your calendars there if you like Star Wars jewelry. I might be doing that. Sackcloths and Ashes, I can't remember what they do. Enjoy 30% off Star Wars blankets from, I guess, blankets, November 22nd to 29th. Star Wars Fine Jewelry, again, more jewelry, 60% off from November 22nd to 27th with early access on some items available now. Cool. Thomas Kincaid Studios, some amazing artwork there. Not my favorite, but if you're a Thomas Kincaid fan, 25% off on the Star Wars collection with code FORCE25, available November 24th to the 29th. And last but certainly not least, if you are a gamer and you have Xbox, 75% off select Star Wars games from November 17th through 30th. So lots of discounts, and maybe there's more out there that we just don't know of and have not been listed on StarWars.com, but might be out there. So keep your eye out on those discounts for those Black Friday deals. Yeah, so not much else going on. Not much else going on. I think there was some news, and actually, let me just verify this because I heard a rumor today, and I have not been able to verify this. So I want to really look. Yes, it was. So earlier today, Dave Filoni, it was announced that with the success of Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, and some of the other shows, that he is now going to be working alongside head developer Carrie Beck, reporting directly to Kathleen Kennedy, in more of a creative role. So he is now been elevated to a chief creative officer role at Lucasfilm. So congratulations, Mr. Dave Filoni, on that. Well deserved. And hopefully this means more Star Wars and more amazing Star Wars. So yeah, that's amazing news there for Star Wars, because Dave Filoni just embodies everything that George Lucas stands for as far as Star Wars. He knows George Lucas. He worked directly with him, and anything that Dave really touches, you can really see the essence of what George would do if he were still here creating Star Wars. And Dave does it so well, so well. So congratulations to Dave Filoni. Here's to making some more great Star Wars content in the very near future. With that, I'm going to kind of wrap this up a little early tonight. It's been a long day for me. And I'm going to sit back and maybe watch some Star Wars before I head on in for the night. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Mike, for posting about that making of Return of the Jedi special. Head on over to my Facebook page if you follow me over there, and you can follow that link. I'm going to try to get that link over here and put it in the description at some point before the end of the night. And yeah, until next time, you can also join me over on my Instagram page. My Instagram page is The Crucial Crew Member. Next week, we'll do another Crucial Character pick as well as some other Star Wars news and Today in Star Wars. And I hope everyone has a great week. I hope everyone has some time off of work and is able to spend it with some family and friends. Maybe you'll able to do something Star Wars related. So until next time, watch something Star Wars, listen to something Star Wars, play something Star Wars, read something Star Wars, but most importantly, remember, May the stars light your way. Have a great week, everyone.